Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Unacademy. On this channel, CAT4MBA, I welcome you all for the preparation of CAT and other management entrance exam. I hope by now all of you are free from festivities and celebration and started focusing on your exam again. SNAP, which is going to happen on 6th and 9th of January. In today's session, I'm going to have a comprehensive practice for SNAP on the pattern of SNAP, which appeared on 20th of December. I'm going to have a mixed bag of all the questions, all varieties of questions which appeared on 20th of December. I have made two test papers to practice today, exactly on the line of 20th December paper. And we are going to do two separate papers, right? So I would like all of you to solve all the questions, spend exactly the time which you are supposed to spend on each question in your actual exam, and do 15 questions in 10 minutes, right? So that's going to be the plan for today. I hope you all are ready. Before starting today's session, let me just give you a brief introduction of myself and some information about the batches which are going to be launched this week. My name is Neelam Malkani. I possess around 12 years of experience of test preparation industry and have been training students of CAT, GRE, GMAT, IELTS, SET and TOEFL. I have been into content development and have set and designed assessment papers of English and reasoning. I also had the opportunity of examining the proficiency of English of those candidates who were going for an international exam. Recently, I have authored a comprehensive book of English for the preparation of competitive exams. The book is written in both Hindi and English and is available on Amazon. This video is brought to you by Unacademy. Let me take you to its channel and tell you how you can start your preparation for your targeted exam. First, you have to go in the Play Store of your mobile phone and install Unacademy Learning app. After filling in all the details, you will be given or shown 3 major offerings plus free courses, special classes. After having this app in your mobile phone, you can have free access to free courses and special classes. You don't have to pay anything for attending classes under these 2 categories. All you need to do is type code Neelam to unlock the courses available under free courses and special classes. You can have unlimited, unrestricted digital learning experience. When you want to go further for Plus, which is going to give you a lot of different features, you will have to subscribe to the product. When you go further, you will be shown different features that you will be availing once you subscribe to the product. Features such as 30 hours of live sessions every day. 30 hours of live sessions every day will give you freedom to attend your classes as per your convenient time. Whenever you are available, you can attend the classes. The classes are conducted and taken up by top educators of India, those educators who have wealth of experience of training, guiding and mentoring students in their respective domains. These educators have also studied in top IIMs, the very colleges that you are targeting. Some of the educators have the experience of scoring 100 percentile in their respective subject. The courses which are delivered by these top educators are well structured, well designed, having fine balance of conceptual clarity and practice so that you are prepared well for your targeted exam. Every month you see a new batch or new course being launched on Unacademy Plus platform in order to cater to the specific needs of candidates who are taking different exams so that nothing is left out. When you go further, you will be shown different models of subscription that have been devised by Unacademy to suit your needs. If you are going for those exams which are happening in January and February, you can go for a crash course which is going to cost you only 3,500 rupees. But if you're targeting CAT 2021, you have to go for yearly subscription. That's going to cost you 17,500 rupees. If you type referral code Neelam, your fee is going to come down to 3,150 for a month and 15,750 for entire year. 10% discount you can avail by typing code Neelam. Alright? Now let me tell you about those batches which are being launched this week. Batch which is starting on 4th of January, which is going to be headed by top educators of Unacademy who have extensive experience of guiding for management entrance exam. The batch is going to be weekday evening batch. One more batch which is going to be launched on 5th of January is going to be headed by Arun Sharma and Meenakshi Upadhyay, two prominent faculty members associated with Unacademy. Arun Sharma, whose books you must have studied for the preparation of CAT, and Meenakshi Upadhyay, another prominent faculty member as well as author who is associated with Unacademy. You have to type referral code Neelam to be part of their batches. Unacademy Combat. So that is a program which is launched by Unacademy. So it's a kind of a competition which is going to be held every fortnight, and the paper that you will be given will be based on previous year CAT questions, and the questions are created by best educators who have experience of taking this exam by themselves. In real time, you will be given your score as well as your ranking. So this competition is going to be held on all India level, and the exam that's going to happen is also going to be held on all India level. That means you need to know your benchmarking vis-a-vis other students who are taking the exam on all India level. So this is what this competition is going to give you: your position, your standing, and where you need to go within a year's time. And you are going to compete with the best, but because the best students across India are going to compete for this competition, and right after the test you will be given detailed solution of the test paper or the questions which will be there in the test paper. The detailed education will be provided by top educators. All right, so all these features in one single thing, that test that you have to take every fortnight starting from 10th of January. This is going to happen, and every fortnight this test will be held. 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. is going to be the time for 10th January. So you should not waste this valuable opportunity. Other than getting all these features, what you stand to win is Amazon vouchers of rupees 50,000. So if you are one of the top scorers, you can win the Amazon voucher worth rupees 50,000, 30,000, 15,000. All right. So what more can you ask for? Go register yourself and take this exam on 10th of January. One more batch which is launched by Unacademy on 20th of December. The batch is named as Iconic Batch, and the faculty members who are going to teach in this batch are from top institutes of India. I am Ahmedabad, I am Bangalore, and I am Calcutta. All of these educators are educated from these top management institutes of India, the very institutes that you are targeting to get admission into. So the benefits of this batch are going to be, you will be given a personal mentor who is going to keep a track of your performance consistently, who is going to keep an eye on your performance in test as well as in your classroom. Your test analysis and your reports will be given to you periodically so as to give you the clear picture about your position as well as where you need to be in order to stand a chance to get into top school. Other than guiding you for CAT, the major management entrance exam, these mentor will also guide you for other management entrance preparation. Exams such as ZAT, IIFT, INMAT, and SNAP. All these exams will you will be given information and preparation tips for all these exams by these mentors. All benefits of Plus will also be included in Iconic Batch. Alright, so these are the benefits to be associated or to be enrolling in this batch. Another feature that has been launched by Unacademy is Ask a Doubt. All you need to do is you have to take the picture of the question that you are confused about. You have to post that picture, highlight that part which you need some clarification about. You have to send to the required number. Within 24/7, you will be given solution. Within 24 hours, you will be given the solution, right? So your query is going to be answered, your question is going to be answered, and all your doubts regarding exercises, test material or preparation material will be resolved, right? So it's a kind of a personal mentor that is assigned to everyone who is associated with class. All right, so these are the benefits that you are going to avail. All right, so let's move on and now talk about, or as I said, we are going to have a comprehensive practice of SNAP. So that's what we are going to do today. All right, I hope all of you are ready. Let me see if I'm live, and let me see if... Hi Nishant, welcome to the session today. So I'm going to give you 15 questions, and 15 questions are to be done in 10 minutes, right? So that's what we are going to do. Comprehensive practice for SNAP, especially for 6th of January. The students who are going to take exam on 6th, they need to be ready and they need to have this time-bound practice of 15 questions to be done in 10 minutes, right? So overall you have 60 minutes for entire SNAP paper, but since verbal ability will have only 15 questions, you don't have to spend inordinate amount of time on verbal ability. Logical reasoning, quantitative ability. These two sections are going to be very time consuming, so you have to allocate your time very judiciously. Then only you will be able to score, as well as you will be able to have a balance in your sections, right? These are two important things that you need to do for SNAP, all right? So 15 questions in verbal ability, 10 minutes. That means you need to spend only 40 seconds each question, all right? So we are going to do this time practice, 40 seconds for each question, and I won't be giving you more than that much time, all right? So I'm going to start the practice. Let me just see if I can... All right. So let me just give you the snapshot of those questions which appeared on 20th of December. There were 6 questions based on filling the blanks, and these filling the blanks were based on both vocabulary and grammar. So I have taken up 6 questions in each of the tests today that I am going to give you. 6 questions clearly bifurcated between vocabulary and grammar. Idioms and phrases, there were 2 questions. So have I taken 2 questions in today's test. Identification of the parts of speech. So this relates with grammar, grammatical concepts. You have to identify a specific part of speech. So I have taken up 2 questions in each paper. Figures of speech, there was 1 question on 20th. Very likely there will be 1 question on figures of speech. So in today's test as well, I have taken up 2 questions. Synonyms, analogy. So analogy, I hope all of you know what analogy is. Collective noun. So there was 1 question based on collective noun, compound noun, parajumble, spelling, right? So these varieties of question were there in SNAP 20th December 2020, right? So let's begin today's practice based on this pattern only. As I said, I'm going to give you 40 seconds for each question, all right? So I hope you are going to mark your answer in that period of time. Along with that, I want all of you to note down your answer, right? So take a piece of paper and a pencil and note down your answers. After we are done with the practice of 15 questions, that means 1 test, first test, we are going to have the discussion of all the answers. You don't have to tell me the answer. What you need to do is write down the answer on your notebook or a piece of paper, right? So that's what we are going to do today. Are we all ready? Okay, so let's start. Okay, first question is on filling the blank. That's going to deal with grammar. Okay, quickly answer. I'm going to give you 40 seconds for this. Alright, so the time is up. I love to write poems in the night with the moon along with the stars. So what you need to do is provide the verb, the correct verb. Okay, Utsav, you feel it's shine? Alright. Okay, what about other answers? I love to write poems in the night with the moon along with the stars. Now this deals with subject and verb agreement. What is your subject? Okay, so here, if you see, sorry. Alright, I love to write poems in the night when the moon along with, right? So this is a parenthetical phrase. Together with, in addition to, as well as. These are parenthetical phrases, right? So whenever they appear in a sentence, what you need to focus on is your subject. Right? Your subject here is moon, and that's singular. Stars, that's not your subject, right? So what comes before, along with, together with, in addition to, as well as is your subject. Moon is singular. That is why verb has to be a singular verb, right? There must be a singular verb, and that is moon shines along with the stars, right? So which verb agrees with moon? That is singular. Answer is B. Alright. Now, what I thought of doing today was that I would give you all 15 questions, and for each question I'll give you 40 seconds. So do you want to go each question one by one, or would you like to be given all the questions? Okay, let's do each question, right? Fine. Right, so 40 seconds, quickly. Alright, so this is conditional and this is the condition which is dealing with present, right? So whenever you have this condition, you always put were here, right? Because you are imagining here, right? So it's unreal situation. You are imagining if I were her boss. So if I were her boss, I would certainly consider her range of knowledge and expertise before taking the final decision, right? So please be informed that even if you have he here or she or it or maybe someone's name, in that case also there will be plural verb were, right? So if he were her boss, if she were her boss, right? If it were Sunday today, all right? So you are imagining situation, it's unreal, that is why it's going to be were, all right? Fine, answer is correct. Next, 40 seconds again. Time is up, 40 seconds. All right, Utsav? Yes, the answer is correct. Now she seems intent on destroying everything, right? So on is a preposition that is correct in this sentence, right? Now I intend to do something, right? So when I use this as a verb, I intend to do something. I intend to help you for your preparation for SNAP. I intend. So that's verb. Alright. So I intend to look after my health this year. Alright. I intend to do something. So that's going to be first form of verb after to. Right. So that's verb. So this is different construction and that's also correct. But when this is used as an adjective, intent. I am intent on looking after my health this year. Alright. So on is the correct preposition, upon is the correct preposition. These two prepositions are correct when this word is used as an adjective. Alright. So government intends upon vaccinating every person next year or this year. Intent upon, intent on. Alright. And then it's going to be followed by gerund or ing form of verb. Right. So please be cautious here. I intend to do something. Here it's going to be the first verb. But when you use on and upon preposition, that's going to be ing. Alright? Next. 60 seconds again, quickly. Okay, time is up. 40 seconds. You can't afford to have more than 40 seconds for these questions. Alright, Utsav? So try to fit in the word in entire sentence, right? So play is fine, right? But play, is it going play of the president? Is the play going with this entire phrase? Play of the president? That's incorrect, right? So please complete the sentence. You have to choose the word which makes the sentence meaningful. So play is not the answer here. C option, charade. Okay, fine. So charade is pretense. Was he pretending to be a president? Was he tricking people? So when you put a charade, so that is to have a pretense of something. Right? Yes, answer is impersonation. When you act like someone else, you act out to be someone else. So that is impersonation. Right? So there was Shekhar Kapoor. He used to host a show, a comedy show, and he used to impersonate Atal Bihari Vajpayee in a very convincing manner, right? He would talk in a way, or he would, make faces in a way which resembled former Prime Minister of India, right? So that is impersonation. A lot of artists try to impersonate famous personalities, politicians, celebrities, right? So convincing impersonation of the president. He acted out like the president, right? So please be clear with the distinction of these words. I hope all of you know what personification is. Personification is when you refer to inanimate things, or when you it's a figure of speech, right? So those things which are not alive or inanimate things, when they are referred to as animated things, that is personification. कुछ human characteristics or maybe human attributes को चीजों को attribute करना is personification, right? So when I say walls have ears, so that means the human attribute, that is having ears. I'm attributing that characteristic to walls. दीवारों के भी कान होते हैं, right? So दीवारों के भी कान होते हैं, that's a personification because दीवार is inanimate, or having ears is animate thing, is human thing, right? So that is personification. All right. My car is smiling today because it has been washed. So that's one more example of personification, because smile, laughing, these are human characteristics, and you are attributing these characteristics to inanimate things. Okay? So वो होता है personification. That is figures of speech. All right. Next question again. 40 seconds only. Quickly, give me your answers. Okay, time is up. Okay, so the sentence is, some dishes would be very dash without the judicious use of spices and other seasonings, right? So the word that you need is something which is not tasty, or the dish would not taste good if spices and other seasonings are not used judiciously or wisely, right? So you need a word for tasteless thing, all right? So you can easily eliminate the options which are not coming close to the meaning or the word that you need here. You need something which is tasteless, right? So stale is not tasteless. Stale is something which is rancid, something which is not fresh, something which is rotten, is stale, right? And stolid and stoical, both are synonymous. Stolid is also not the word that you need here, right? Stolid is not having any expression, not having any emotion, being impassive or being nonchalant about what's happening around you. So that is stolid. Frail is weak. Answer here is bland, right? So bland is something which is insipid or tasteless. Okay? So some dishes would be very bland without the judicious use of spices and other seasonings. Alright? So even if you do not know the meaning of the word that you need here, with elimination technique, you can easily come up with your answer as long as you know the meaning of other words. Right? So be clear with what word you need here. What word? That means the word that you know. And then try to look for some clues to eliminate other options. Alright? So bland was the word here. That's correct. Next question. Okay, Utsav, I'll see if I can provide you with any PDF. You better revise all the rules of grammar, basic rules of grammar that we have already talked about, specific topics which are very dear to staff, like prepositions, articles, noun, collective noun, compound noun, subject and verb agreement, tenses, right? So revise these and solve as many exercises as possible. Solve previous year papers of SNAP. Till 2018, you have all the papers available readily. You solve all those papers and make a list of the words which appeared, even those words which appeared in the options, right? So with that, exercise based on high frequency words, all right? That will give you some confidence about verbal ability, all right? And towards the end, I'll discuss some more strategy for verbal ability preparation. All right. Okay. So here the answer is immigrating or emigrating. So there was one question based on confusing word on 20th of December. So that's why I picked up this question. Emigrating and immigrating. You need to know the difference between these two words, which are often very confusing. He dreamt of emigrating or immigrating. So to is the preposition there, right? So you don't need settling and staying. All right. So settling in Canada, staying in Canada. Had there been these two words, preposition would have been staying in, right? But since you have two, you need either emigrating or immigrating, right? Now you emigrate to a place. That means you are going, you are migrating to another country. Emigration. Whereas immigration is coming to a country. So those people who have come to India from Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, they are immigrants for us. Immigrants, that means this word. Alright? So they are immigrants for us because they are coming to our countries. But people from Punjab and people from Kerala, they have emigrated to other countries. So people of Punjab have emigrated to Canada. People of Kerala have emigrated to Gulf countries, right? So they have emigrated, they have gone to these countries, or they have migrated to these countries. So emigration is the correct word here. Answer is A, not B. Alright, Utsav? Fine. So be clear with the meaning of confusing words. Do confusing words very carefully. Those confusing words pair, which we have already discussed in the classes, as well as those which are readily available on internet in the form of PDFs, right? Make some sentences and try to, remember the meaning. With that, you will have some clarity about their usage. Now, this question is going to deal with parajumble. As the question appeared on 20th of December, you had to choose the first sentence, right? So which of these will be the first statement of the paragraph after rearrangement, right? I'll give you 40 seconds for this. Alright, so Utsav says it's D. Let me see if other people have answered. Alright, so the paragraph, even if you have to just locate the first sentence of a paragraph or find out the first sentence of the paragraph, even then you have to make the arrangement of all the sentences, right? Then only we'll be sure about the placement of a specific sentence. Alright, a bill is essentially a proposal to make a new law, right? So that's how the paragraph is beginning, right? It is in a form of a document that outlines what the proposed law is to be and what policy behind such a law is. So followed by D, right? So with this clarity only, you have D as your answer. Answer is D. Alright? Yes, very good. Now this question is going to deal with compound nouns. 40 seconds. Yes, Utsav, BABC was the correct sequence. Hence answer was D. Yes, very good. Utsav, answer is aftershave, right? So here you have to identify the word which is a compound noun, and that is aftershave. Two words, different words, joined and made as a compound noun, right? So the answer is B. Very good. Next question. Identify parts of the speech. The word has been boldfaced and underlined. You have to find out which part of the speech this word is playing in a sentence. 40 seconds. Yeah, so was there, but so in that sentence was a conjunction. The word which was the sentence which used so, the so was used as a conjunction. It wasn't used as an adverb, right? But yes, here it's an adverb. Alright? So that's why answer is A. So if you remove it, she spoke quietly. Right? So this is modifying a verb. So only part of the speech which modifies a verb is adverb, right? Now she spoke so quietly. Now this so is modifying adverb. So only part of the speech which modifies another adverb is adverb itself, right? Adverb can only modify another adverb. Answer is adverb here. All right? All right. Okay. What's up? Okay, fine, good. Now, tell me, which part of a speech is this sentence here? This word here. Okay, time is up, 40 seconds. I don't see any answer coming up. Utsav says B, A, adverb, alright? Okay. What do you feel, Pushpak, is the answer? Okay, now look at this. I explained. So I is noun, I explain, verb. I explain carefully. So that's an adverb because it is modifying how I explained. Alright? So this is an adverb, carefully. However, carefully. Kitna bhi carefully. No matter how carefully. However, carefully. Right? So this is modifying another adverb. However, carefully I explained, she still didn't understand. Alright? So here, however, is an adverb. Answer is A. Alright? So try to deconstruct the sentence and see other parts. Because whenever you have an adverb, you either need a verb or an adverb. Then only you will have one more adverb. Alright? And to identify adjective is also very easy because with that you always have a noun. Because adjacent to an adjective, you always need a noun. In most cases, most sentences, you will have a noun close to an adjective, right? Or if you have to identify the adjective, see what it is modifying, right? You will get your answer. Fine? So try to place adjective and adverb in a sentence because they are very easy to identify. Same way, noun is also easy to identify because before noun, you always have an article, right? Or only noun can have a plural form. Okay? So identification of noun, adjective and adverb is very easy. However, is actually an adverb only. It's not, it's adverbial conjunction. Right? So I'll give you a sentence. But it's an adverbial conjunction, right? So if it is given as a part of the speech, it will be an adverb only. Alright? Now, the 2020 is over. However, the risk of infection is still there. Alright? So here, it's used as an adverbial conjunction. Alright? Is that okay, Utsav? But please remember, however can be placed when it is used as an adverbial conjunction. It is always in the middle of the sentence. And whenever it is used only as an adverb, it's always at the beginning of a sentence. The placement of however. However hard you try, if somebody is close-minded, he won't listen to you. So here, however is placed always at the beginning of the sentence. However hard you try, if somebody is close-minded, he's not going to listen to you, right? So however is at the beginning. I tried to convince him very hard. However, I gave up when he did not budge. Alright? So here, however, in the middle, when it is used as an adverbial conjunction. Alright? So this understanding of placement of however comes very handy in doing paragraph questions. Because when you join two sentences, that means however is used as an adverbial conjunction. Okay? Chaliye, next question. A question based on figures of speech. Which of these is not an example of a simile? Alright, so you say it's C, fine. Let me see if others have put up their answers. Yeah, so when you use simile, you draw comparison between two unlikely things, right? So simile and metaphor, the only difference is that you use these words. When you use simile, you use like and as. So her face is like a mask, it's a simile. She is as white as snow, that's also a simile because comparison is being drawn between snow and someone and using as. She runs like a deer, so she runs very fast. So comparison of deer and someone's way of running, right? So yes, it's also a simile. Answer is C. That's not a simile, that's a metaphor. She has a heart of stone, right? So here you are attributing that characteristic directly without using like and as. It's a metaphor. That's why C is the answer. Alright? Consistently, figures of speech are tested. So go through your basics. Now this question is on idioms and phrases, right? Now what you have to do is, what is conveyed by this idiom in the sentence? Alright, so I have tried everything to stop our marriage falling apart, but it takes two to tango, right? So I have tried everything which I could to stop our marriage from falling apart, but it takes two to tango. Possibly the sentence is suggesting that it needs efforts from both the sides, right? So it needs two to tango. Is used two ways, right? So it needs two to tangos, but the tali ek haath se nahi bajti hai. So whenever there is a quarrel, there is an argument, or there is some kind of bickering, it needs two to tango. That means somebody must have sparked off and somebody must have picked up, right? So that way you should, this idiom is used when you say that दोनों तरफ से गलती होती है, दोनों तरफ से mistakes हुई होगी, तभी ये चीज हुई होगी, right? Here it takes two to tango is used for conveying the message that I am doing my part, I am doing everything which I can do to save my marriage, but it needs two to tango. That means other person who is in the marriage is also responsible to do something to save this relationship, right? So it needs two to tango. Answer is 1. Very good. Yes, Utsav, I do have a Telegram channel and I have sent the link of that Telegram channel. I'm going to do that again today, right? So that's Neelam Malkani at Telegram, at Unacademy Telegram, right? So that's the channel. If you don't find that when you go in the Telegram, do tell me, I'll send you the link, all right? Next, one more question on the base on idiom and phrases. All right, made a beeline for the food. All right, yes. So as soon as she arrived at the party, she made a beeline for the food, right? That clearly suggests as soon as she arrived, she went straight to have food, right? So make a beeline for something. So that means you quickly go somewhere without hesitating, without wasting any time. Quickly, when you go somewhere, that is, make a beeline for something, right? The answer is B. Very good. All right. So as and when Apple launches its phone, buyers make a beeline for the stores, right? So they go ahead, they go straight to the stores to buy the newly launched product, right? So that is to make a beeline for something, right? So remember the meaning of this idiom. Choose the correct spelling quickly. Don't take more than 40 seconds. That's what the time you are supposed to spend on each question. Yeah, Utsav, answer is A, right? I hope you remember the spelling and I hope you know the meaning of this word. Connoisseur is someone who is expert of judging food, art, or related things, right? Somebody who has profound understanding of food, drink, and other forms of art, right? So connoisseur is, it's a French word, right? The spelling is going to be this, all right? Fine. Last question of this test, test 1. Analogy. All right. Yes, your correct answer is B. Heart is a kind of organ, right? So the relationship is kind of, all right? So eye is not the kind of vision, radio is not the kind of news, stomach is not the kind of engine, right? But car is a kind of automobile, all right? Answer is B. So it's very important for you to establish the correct relationship in order to find the correct answer, all right? So heart is a kind of organ, that's the relationship, all right? Very good. So we are done with first test. After 15 questions, tell me which set of questions you are most confident about. Those of you who just joined, we did 15 question practice. I gave 40 seconds for each question, exactly the time that you are going to spend on your actual exam, right? So, and I had the mix of comprehensive mix of all the varieties of questions which appeared on 20th of December, right? So it had figures of speech, identification of parts of the speech. That's not asked in any other exam itself. So that's something which is kind of an obsession of SNAP. So you should, do enough practice for that. You should do figures of speech, basic figures of speech. It's not going to test you on a very advanced level of figures of speech. So I took a session dedicated to figures of speech in special class. If you can go to Unacademy platform, the session is there. That's recorded. You can go and watch all the figures of speech. And the session taken on all the figures of speech. We also did extensive exercises. So figures of speech is another topic that you should not leave. idioms and phrases. Now, idiom and phrases is something which you cannot actually prepare well for, right? Because if you have been exposed to that idiom and phrase, you will inevitably know the answer, right? Or the meaning of the phrase or idiom. But in such a short period of time, you cannot cover all the idioms and phrases because there are plenty, all right? So what you can do is try to, go with your gut feeling. Most of the time, the literal meaning which is suggested, one of the option is going to have the literal meaning. Always eliminate that, right? So the options are designed and crafted in a way. One of the options is going to talk about the literal meaning of the idiom. Idioms are always used in a metaphorical way, and that's why they are idioms. So always eliminate that option, and then try to make a sentence that possibly it may ring a bell. You might have encountered that idiom somewhere in your reading or speaking or listening, and with that try to eliminate the option. Idiom and phrases, what you can do is 100 most frequently asked idiomatic expressions in competitive exam. You can do some exercises based on that. But identification of passive speech, figures of speech, compound noun, noun plural and singular, these are 4 topics which are very favorite to snap. Alright? Yeah. Fine. Now let's do practice of one more test. Right? I'm going to give you 15 questions. We are going to repeat the same pattern. I'm going to give you 40 seconds each slide. Now I'm going to stick with the timeline. All right. I'm not going to give you more than 40 seconds. And after that, I'll change the slide. All right. So that's what you have to do. You have to write your answer within 40 seconds and send it to me. All right. Are we all ready? Are we all ready for one more set of? All right, thank you. Chali, let's begin. 40 seconds, 15 questions, 10 minutes. That's the data that you need to remember tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Fine. Question number 1. Time is up. Very good. So although is the correct conjunction here, that is completing the sentence and that's making the sentence meaningful, right? Now, despite is followed by gerund. And please remember, despite is not followed by of. Don't make this mistake, right? So, despite is not followed by of. Despite of the obstacles. No, despite all the obstacles. Despite facing all the obstacles. Despite is followed by either gerund or nouns. Okay? Never use despite with of. In spite of is fine, but despite of is incorrect. Now, despite the fact, that is also collocation, despite the fact that, right? Now, however, we discussed, however, when we did the practice of first test, however is an adverb which can begin the sentence or which can join 2 sentences when it is used as an adverbial conjunction, right? Both way the meaning is gonna be different. जब आप however as a adverbial conjunction के रूप में use करेंगे, so that the meaning is going to be conveyed उसके बावजूद, right? The vaccine is going to be manufactured by an Indian company. However, it's going to cost millions to immunize all Indians. उसके बावजूद, vaccine is going to be manufactured by an Indian company. However, it's going to cost millions to immunize all Indians, right? So that way, this sentence is conveying उसके बावजूद, contrast, ठीक है? But when I use however at the beginning, however busy I am, I'll always make some time for your questions in the classroom. However busy I am, that means kitni bhi busy, no matter how busy I am. So instead of saying no matter how busy I am, however busy I am. So that's an adverb. That's beginning the sentence. However poor you may be, you can always do some charity. Right? So here it's an adverb. Okay? Whereas is also a conjunction. It joins two sentences when you have to bring contrast. Alright? Fine. Next question. Okay, time is up. 40 seconds. Alright. I see one answer. What's up? C. Alright. Has been raised. Suspicions. This is plural. Has. Singular. How is C the answer? Suspicions. So your noun is or your subject is plural. You need a plural verb to agree with a plural subject. Has is singular. That's not the answer. समझ रहे हो? Why C is not the answer? Right, so what is the answer? Yes, answer is A. The circumstance should be altogether or could be altogether innocent, but suspicions have been raised. Right? So here, answer is A. And raised. Now please see the difference between these two words. Confusing word. One more confusing word pair, right? So you raise something. It's a transitive verb. You need an object right after that. You raise an issue. You raise a question. Right? You raise doubt. Alright? So raise is you raise something. But rise is an intransitive verb. It does not need an object. Price, rise. Right? These issues have been raised. मतलब इन issues को उठाया गया है. किसी ने उठाया है. Right? So that means passive में A is the correct option. ठीक है? But please see the difference. This is a transitive verb. It always needs an object. Whereas rise is an intransitive verb. कोई चीज अपने आप उठ रही है. ठीक है? So that is rise. Correct meaning of the idiom. At the drop of a hat. Okay, time is up. 40 seconds. So without any hesitation, without much thinking, you just do something at the drop of a hat, right? She announced her wedding at the drop of a hat, right? She left the room at the drop of a hat immediately, right? So that's what this word means, all right? Or this idiom means. Next, confusing words. Right? So conservative parents will never give their dash to their children for choosing unconventional path. वो अपनी रजामंदी नहीं देंगे. That's what we need, right? So रजामंदी के लिए रजामंदी और permission नहीं देंगे. So that's the word which we need here to complete the sentence, to make the sentence meaningful, right? Now assent, this is of course not the word which we need in the sentence. This means to go up, ascent, right? So ascent to the Himalaya, ascent to the Mount Everest, ascension. So that is going up. Ascending is also going up. All right. So that's another word. Accent is another word here, which we can eliminate outrightly because accent means emphasizing on something, right? So that's not the word we need here. हमें यहाँ पे वो word चाहिए जो रजामंदी के sense में आए. Now two close words, or the words which are very close, or the words which are very confusing, are consent and assent. All right. Now consent is basically to give your permission. So consensual relationship, that means where two people are in agreement with each other about having the relationship, that is consensual. They have given their permission. Consent is also used when you give your approval for doing something, right? So when you are on the operation table, you are supposed to give your consent to the doctors that you need to be operated upon, right? So that way you give your consent. As an adult, you give your consent. ठीक है? So आप अपनी permission दे रहे हो. तो यहाँ पे parents की permission की ज़रूरत है for children. Assent is to give your agreement to something, right? So to give your agreement to something is to assent. So president has to give his assent to the bill, then only it becomes a law. He has to give his agreement that he agrees with the provision of the bill, and then the bill becomes law. All right. So your assent is your agreement to do something. Consent is your permission to do something. Here we needed permission. All right. Answer is consent. Good. Next question. Yes, Akhil. Yeah, yes, Akhil. Approbation is also approval. Now this question is dealing with idiom. A wild goose chase. Select the correct option which captures the meaning of the idiom. Yeah, I see some answers coming. Yeah, so Utsav says it's a wild goose chase. So finding Arushi murderer turned out to be a wild goose chase for CBI. For investigative agencies, it turned out to be a wild goose chase. Nobody still know who killed Arushi, right? So it was a useless search. Ultimately, it did not fetch any result. Alright? So a wild goose chase is basically a futile exercise, an exercise which is worthless, a work or a function which is worthless. Ultimately, what you are finding, you are not going to what you are searching for, you are not going to find that, right? So a wild goose chase. All right, fine, good. Forty seconds up. Okay, so yes, answer is flooded. All right. So flooded basically means too much of something, right? When a place is inundated with water, that is flooded. There is a deluge, right? So deluge is nothing but bar. So one meaning of flood is that Bihar is always flooded, or Bihar is every year flooded in monsoon, right? So that is one meaning. Another meaning of flooded metaphorically is when you receive too much of something, right? Flooded with compliments. My message box is flooded with wishes and blessings on my birthday. So flooded, right? Now here the customers flooded the company with complaints. So here too many complaints were filed by the customers because they were not happy with the price increase and they wanted to get it cancelled. Alright, so flooded is the correct word here. Good, very good. Okay, time is up. 40 seconds. Okay, B and D. I see two answers here. Right. So the question itself gives you the link or the hint or the clue. With trade value growth going into negative, right? Very clearly, the sentence itself says something is dipping low, right? Going down. So the trade value growth going into negative. The world trade scenario continues to be dash. So this also has to be parallel with negative, something which is not optimistic or positive, all right? So which word is coming close to that? Now I see B and D. So let's see if B and D are the answers. So B says ours. Ours is always followed by to as a preposition, right? So when I say I am averse to advertising myself. That means I don't like doing it. I am averse to doing something. So that means I don't like doing it. Averse is nothing but aversion. When you have aversion for something, you hate doing something. You detest doing something. So aversion का verb form है, sorry, adjective है, I am averse to doing something. ठीक है? So this is not the answer. B is not the answer because this means not liking doing something. Okay, dislike doing something basically, right? So I'm averse to waiting for anyone. I'm averse to wasting my time in the morning. So here, to is the preposition followed by ing form of verb. Always remember this, right? Answer is adverse. Adverse, not favorable. Something when you are facing adverse circumstances, that means circumstances are not favorable. They are not in your favor. They are not, happy, right? So you are not getting something which is going to benefit you. Adverse circumstances. Market is adverse. Market conditions are adverse. Weather may be hostile or adverse, right? So something which is not favorable is adverse. Adversity comes from that. That is the word which we need here for negative. Now, inactive is also negative, but that's not completing the sentence, right? World threat scenario की future की बात कर रहे हैं. Scenario is always for future, right? So inactive is not possibly the word which is going to explain the scenario, right? It's not very positive. Okay? So answer is adverse. Now this is going to deal with grammar. Quickly choose your answer and tell me. 40 seconds. For the past 6 months, she dashed for a job. You have to complete the sentence. Now, Vishnu says it's A. She had been searching for a job. Utsav says A. Had been searching for a job. Please remember, for and since. Whenever you have these two prepositions, time preposition, the tense has to be present perfect or present perfect continuous. These are two sentences which can be used with since and for. Okay? So this and this cannot be the answer because this is present continuous. Has searching is not the correct sentence. It's not the correct construction at all. So it has to be past perfect or present perfect. Now why past perfect? Why did you choose A? Why did you choose A? Is it dealing with past or is it dealing with present? पिछले 6 महीने से वो जॉब ढूंढ रही है. वो पिछले 6 महीने से जॉब ढूंढ रही थी जब मैंने उसको सजेस्ट किया मेरी कंपनी ज्वाइन करने के लिए. जब आपके पास ऐसा सेंटेंस हो, वो 6 महीने से जॉब ढूंढ रही थी जब मैंने उसको सजेस्ट किया मेरी कंपनी ज्वाइन करने के लिए. जब मैंने उसे सजेस्ट किया मेरी कंपनी ज्वाइन करने के लिए. जब ऐसा एक और सेंटेंस हो तब आप she had been searching for past 6 months when I suggested joining my company. Alright, this is not the correct answer. Past perfect tense तब तक नहीं आएगा जब तक आपके पास एक और सेंटेंस नहीं है past का. Do not use this for an action which is happening now or which has happened recently. Okay? For past 6 months, she has been searching for a job. Present perfect. Make 2 to 3 sentences. For past 6 months, she has been living in quarantine. For past 6 months, I have not been visiting my parents. 2-3 sentences बना लो. That sentences, the construction is going to be fixed in your mind for the past 6 months, right? So that way, construction is clear, right? Had been searching, I hope I made it explicitly clear. You use this construction only when you have another sentence in past. एक के बाद दूसरा होने वाला, ठीक है? Otherwise, you don't use this construction. All right, next question. Choose the correct spelling. Yes, answer is B, right? So that's correct. That's the correct spelling. All right? Right. Identify parts of speech, correct parts of speech. Okay, so identify parts of speech. Please write to us at the above address, right? Now you may be confused and you have chosen A as the answer preposition because above is usually used as a preposition, right? But in English, words are very fluid. They are not static. I mean, one word is not always used as one part of speech only. They can actually change their form. They can be used in different parts of speech. One word can be used as a different part of speech in different sentences. So always you have to see the function of that word, how that word is played. All right. Now, please write to us at the address, at this address. So address is a noun. It's a name of something. Okay? So that's a noun. Which address? Above address. That means specific address. That means this word is modifying address. Anything which modifies noun is an adjective. Alright? Answer is not A, answer is B. Okay? So be always clear with the way that word is used in a sentence. Don't have this figment of imagination that one word is always used that way. Above can actually be used as a adverb, preposition, and here it is used as an adjective. Okay? Alright. One more question based on parts of the speech. All right, yeah, Vishnu. Vivesh, it isn't that he lied exactly, but he does tend to exaggerate, right? Yes, that is conjunction. But is here conjunction, right? So, but please be mindful of its different usage. But is also used as a preposition. But is also used as a conjunction in this sentence. Question 10 was adjective. What's up? Right? Now, now tell me, what but is here? No one, but he donated money. What role is played by but here? Which part of the speech is but here? Okay, so this is a preposition here. No one except he donated money, right? So except, in place of except, you are using but. So it's not interjection, it's a preposition here. No one, but he donated money. All right. So don't assume that but is used only as a conjunction. It can also be used as a preposition. Fine. As I said, words are very fluid. So don't presume certain words to be specific parts of the speech only. Right? Fine. All right, 40 seconds are over. You have to be very quick in posting your answers. You cannot afford to spend more time on these questions. 10, maximum 12 minutes on verbal ability of snap, right? In any case, you cannot go beyond 12 minutes, right? Okay, fine. So acrobat, agility. So acrobat requires agility. Agility is flexibility of your body. When you are you have nimble feet, or you have nimble feet, or your body is extremely flexible. You can bend your body whichever way you want. Then only you can perform acrobatic activities, right? In order to do or be an acrobat, you need agility, right? So that's the relationship. I see B and C as the answer. Now Bhargav, Vishnu, to be a student, is this the prerequisite? Is this the only thing that you require to be a student? Possibly not. A student needs a teacher, student needs a school, student needs a degree, student needs a subject. In order to be a student, he needs different things. He does not necessarily need perseverance only. Even if he is not a persevered person, he can still be a student. He can be called a student, right? Alright? So that's not the answer. Because here the activity requires agility. To be an acrobat or to perform acrobatic activities, you need agility of your body, or you need flexibility in your body. Right? A person, though he is not persevered, he can still be a student. Alright? Fine. Answer is C. Yes, Utsav, your answer is correct. Surgeon always needs dexterity. Dexterity is adeptness of your hands, right? Because a surgeon is going to perform surgery by hands. Though he is going to use some tools, the tools are going to be used by his hands. And dexterity is always skillfulness of your hands. When you are extremely skilled in using your hands, you have dexterity. And with this word only, I hope all of you know this word, ambidextrous. Ambidextrous is a person who is skillful in using both the hands. You remember Viru Sahastra Buddhi in 3 Idiots? He writes skillfully with both his hands, right? He writes with his right hand and he writes with his left hand, right? And he can use his both the hands. A juggler is also ambidextrous, right? He juggles using both his hands very skillfully, all right? So dexterity is skillfulness of your hands. Surgeon always needs dexterity, all right? So ambidextrous, ambi is for both. Ambiguous, you have ambiguity because you don't have clarity, right? So ambiguous, having two opposite ideas. So ambiguity. Ambidextrous, having both, skillness in both the hands. And ambivalent, when you are stuck between two opposite emotions, two contrasting emotions, right? So that is like feeling love for someone, but same time you also hate that person. So loving hating relationship, that is ambivalent. When somebody is retiring from his job, you are ambivalent. You are happy as well as you are sad. You're sad because that person is leaving that organization forever. You're happy because that person is going to live his life on his own terms now, right? So that way you are ambivalent. So ambivalent, though opposite emotions, same time pe feel karna. So ambi is for both, ambidextrous, ambivalent, ambiguous. Ambivert is another word, right? So some people are introvert, though they have a lot of inhibitions in expressing themselves. They are not very outspoken, they are not very open in expressing themselves. Introvert. Extrovert, those people who are very gregarious, sociable, love to be around with people. Some people are both. Sometimes they are extrovert, sometimes they are introvert. They are ambivert, right? So 4 words with this root: ambidextrous, ambiguous, ambivalent, and ambivert. We all are ambivert. With strangers, we become introvert, and when we are with those people who we are familiar with, we become extrovert. So most of us are ambivert. Alright? Fine. Next question. Identify the figures of speech in the sentence. Quickly, post your answer. Very good. Vishnu, Utsav, Divesh. Very glad to see all of you answering correctly. So personification is the correct answer for this statement, right? So the brutal wind bullied the tree. So bully is usually a human trait, right? So we bully each other, right? So usually, so the bully is a human trait, human characteristic, which is attributed to win. That's in personification. I hope you know what onomatopoeia is. This is the use of sound. Instead of using an object or instead of using that thing, you use the, yes. So onomatopoeia is the use of sound, right? So chuk chuk is a sound for train. Trin trin is a sound for telephone, right? So that is onomatopoeia. So you are using sound instead of the object to express what you want to say. Alliteration is the repetition of a letter, right? When you repeat a letter, that is on alliteration, right? So santas, short, suit, shrunk. So repetition of S. All tongue twisters are in alliteration form only, right? Oxymoron, two opposite words. Oxy is oxygen, that's life. Moron is dull, lifeless. So this itself is an oxymoron. I mean, this itself is formed by combining two opposite words together. Oxymoron. So दो opposite words, contrasting words को मिला के एक word बनाना is oxymoron. ठीक है? So deafening silence is an oxymoron. Constructive destruction is another oxymoron, right? Act naturally. So that's also an oxymoron. Because when you are acting, you are not natural, right? When you are not natural, you are not acting. But she acts naturally. So that is also an oxymoron, right? Suffocating kindness, right? So that is also oxymoron. Two opposite words together, right? Happily married. So lot many believe that's also an oxymoron. Two opposite emotions, right? Opposite words. Fine. 14th word, 14th question. Okay, so before I give you answer to this question, I need to give you information about my tomorrow's session, which I am going to take on special classes on Unacademy platform. Special class is going to be about practice session for SNAP for vocabulary. All kinds of vocabulary based questions will be discussed in that session. Along with that, you will also get the opportunity to learn a lot of words, right? So 1 hour session starting at 9:30 tomorrow morning till 10:30 is going to be dedicated to the vocabulary practice for SNAP. So those of you who are taking the exam on 6th as well as on the 9th, they do please make it a point that you come and attend the class, right? Along with that, tomorrow's session in the evening at 6 p.m. in the same slot will be devoted to tips, strategy as well as some practice session, revision practice session for SNAP. Alright, so that's what I needed to tell you about these two sessions tomorrow. YouTube 6 p.m. will be about tips and strategy for SNAP verbal ability as well as some practice session. In that, I'll also include some verbal ability, verbal reasoning question, which will be there in logical reasoning section, right? So we'll do comprehensive practice of verbal ability as well as verbal reasoning and some tips and strategy. Fine. Tomorrow morning, special class, that's going to be 9:30, will be about vocabulary session for SNAP. Fine. Yes. I see one answer here. I rather see two answers here. So Vishnu, Utsav, both of you are correct. Come back is the answer here. Fine. So come back is also a compound noun. Two words joined together make one word. Last question. Parajimble. Okay, 40 seconds are over. Time is up. After rearrangement, which of these sentences is going to be the opening statement of your paragraph? Alright, so same thing, you have to arrange in all the sentences and make. Fine. Vishu says it's a brick and mortar companies. No, it's not a compound noun. Aside is not a compound noun. Okay, so the Devesh says it's C. C is the opening statement. Yes, basically, if you see, C is actually beginning your paragraph. So one of the biggest questions faced by brick and mortar retailers today is whether prices should be the same online and in store. Getting clarity on this issue. Now this issue is giving you a mandatory pair. This issue is clearly referring to this. This is the question that they are facing. This is the issue. Is critical for traditional retailers to successfully compete in both the environments. Both the environment, online and stores. So CD becomes your mandatory pair very clearly. Alright. And then brick and mortar retailers have been struggling with pricing since Amazon's inception, right? So A and B. Answer is C. The opening statement is C. Right? So very likely it's going to ask you the opening statement or the last statement, right? In either case, for last statement, for finding the last statement, you will have to keep all the arrangements. You have to make entire arrangement. For opening statement, you need to be clear with at least one mandatory pair, right? So don't be very impulsive and hasty in choosing your answer. You need to make sure that entire arrangement is correct. Then only you can be sure about your opening statement, right? Fine. So we practiced 2 papers today and we practiced all varieties of questions which appeared in SNAP on 20th of December. I hope it gave you some confidence to deal with different varieties of questions, different kinds of questions which you are going to face on 6th and 9th. The more you practice, the better will be your accuracy, the higher will be your accuracy, and more will be your confidence level. It is definitely going to boost your confidence level. So try to gather and these questions and try to take as many mocks as possible before your exam and try to do this kind practice only, right? I gave you the information about my 2 classes. Very quickly, tell me if you want to ask anything. Otherwise, I am going to sign off. All right? So those of you who are live and watching me, please put up your messages or put up your questions if you have any. And if you want me to talk about anything specifically before your exam 6th and 9th, I'll be very happy to incorporate that topic in my session. And do let me know if there is a specific topic that you want me to cover. Alright? So Utsa, Vishnu, Divesh, so Utsa, be clear with this understanding that compound noun has to be used as a noun. Right? So those long words, not all the long words are going to be noun. Okay? And they are not going to be compound nouns. It has to be a noun. And please remember that compound nouns either are going to be hyphenated or they are going to be open words or closed words, right? So with that, what you need to see is it has to be used as a noun. That's the benchmark that you have to, see to decide whether it's a compound noun or not. All right. So thank you very much for watching the session, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of you tomorrow at 6 p.m. for this practice session for SNAP, and tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. on special class on an academy platform for vocabulary practice. Thank you. Thank you.